Okay, hi everybody. I want to go ahead and start showing you some tricks that you can do with Flash. Um, in your exercise, you had to go in and create an animation or get a ball to move. One of the things that we want to do right now is work. This is currently our stage or our working area right here. One of the things I want you to be aware of is every time you're going to be working on your website, the first thing you should always do is set your preferences. So you want to go to Modify Document, and you'll notice that we currently have our dimensions at 550 by 400. Now if I were making a banner or I was making something, a button, obviously this would be a much smaller dimension. Our frame rate is 12. We're working in pixels. We can obviously work in inches if that's easier for you. I want you to remember 72 pixels equals 1 inch. So 72 pixels equals 1 inch. If we want to change the background color, we can click on background color, and of course we can apply any of these colors if we wanted to. But for our purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and stick with white. Once you've set up all your parameters here, such as your size, color, frame rate, and pixels, I want you to go ahead and hit OK. If you still can't see all of the screen, go up, and in this right hand corner you'll see where it says show frame. You can have it show all, you can have it only show a percentage. If you don't show the frame or you pick all, if you have a little piece somewhere, anywhere on that screen, okay, or even in the gray area, it's going to show everything. So you might want to consider that. Sometimes we get a missing piece or a pixel or a line that gets thrown out somewhere off the stage, and when we go to play our movie, it shows up really odd, and that's usually a good giveaway. So I'm just going to go ahead and work with the frame, and then you'll notice I have layer 1, so I'm going to go ahead and double click on that and change that. I want to make that red ball. I want to get in the habit of naming my layers, because that way I don't get confused and I have to go through and check to see if what layer's on or what layer's off. Now remember, we're looking at 12 frames per second, okay? So if we just hit 12 frames, that's 1 second. So we want to think about how large we want to make our movie. Since we're going to be doing some tweening, I'm just going to go ahead and select this frame, which is frame 100. I'm going to right mouse click, and I'm going to put insert blank keyframe right here, okay? So what I've done is I've gone ahead. You'll notice that my timeline changed, and now I have one very long scene so far, one picture. You'll notice that these are the frames right here. These are the blank frames. There's nothing in them yet, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so you'll notice right here in my picture, in my window here, it tells me that I have 8.3 seconds. So that's important to know, because depending on how long you talk, if you're going to be adding animation, if you're going to be adding lip syncing or anything like that, you want to pay attention to that. And I'm actually in frame 101, and I'll tell you why later. So for right now, I'm just going to go back to the first frame 1. I'm going to click in it. I'm going to go over here to my oval tool. I'm going to select that, and you'll notice that I have a pencil, which is my stroke color or my outline. Okay, it'll put an outline around it, and my fill color. I want what it will do is make a maroon ball with a red boundary around it, or a red fill color. And actually I don't want to do that. I want to select my stroke, and notice that I have this no color. I'm going to go ahead and select that and take that out. So all I have now is a ball. I'm going to come to my stage, and I'm going to go right here. If I hold the shift key down, when I go to make my circle, it'll make a perfectly round circle. If I let go of my shift key and I want to make a circle, now notice what happens. It gives me the ability to make ovals or oblong circles. So I'm just going to go back to my shift key, hold it, and I'm going to make a ball. Okay, so there's my ball. Notice what happened to my timeline right here. It went gray. And that tells me that there's something in the timeline now. The easiest thing, this is a quick tip, and the reason I'm showing you this is because the easiest thing I can do now is decide that I want to put I want to insert a keyframe here. And what that's going to do is duplicate my original keyframe right here. So I'm going to go ahead and right mouse click. I get the pop-up window that says insert keyframe. Now you'll notice it tells me that my next keyframe is at 2.8 seconds. Okay, that seems like a lot of time, but it's not. I'm going to go down to say 65, and I'm going to insert another blank keyframe, or I'm not a blank keyframe, a regular keyframe. And then I'm going to move down a little more, and I'm going to insert a blank keyframe here at frame 100 at my 8 seconds. Now, one of the easiest things I can do to make an image move is I'm actually going to move this image right here. I'm going to go back to my selection tool, my arrow tool, grab the black one, and now I'm actually going to move this ball to right here. I'm going to select frame 65, and I'm going to move the ball here. And then I'm going to go all the way down to frame 100 here, and I'm going to select the ball and put it right back here. Okay, so now what I have, if I go all the way back to the first, when I go up to my controls and I hit play, notice that I get, here's one place, the ball bounces up there, suddenly appears here, and that at the end it suddenly appears there and stops because I have this blank keyframe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually clear this keyframe. Okay, so now what I have is it will stop automatically right here. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to right mouse click in the middle, in between the two black keyframes where I have actually the ball. Okay, I'm going to right mouse click, and I'm going to say create motion tween. Okay, now you'll see that it's turned blue and it has a dotted line here, and what that means is that I have motion in there, but I have to complete the next step, and so I'm going to go create motion here. Now notice what happens. So now what I have is I can actually now come and see this ball move to this position. I'm going to move down my frames, and I'm going to go right mouse click in this frame and create motion tween here as well. And now I've gotten to here. Okay. And so the next thing I can do is just go in and insert another keyframe right here, and what will happen, I'm going to take this out and see what happens. Okay, so now what's happening here is I have this keyframe, and I'm running into a problem here because I have this frame right here, and I really want to have a motion tween here. Okay, and you'll notice down here in my property box I have motion tweening, scaling, but one of the problems that we get is that I need to do something. It's not going to just let me go in and create this motion tween. Oops, sorry. Uh-oh. Alrighty. Okay, so let's see where we are.